Welcome to Dwarven Forge Live. This is On the Anvil, episode 112. This is the show where we take you behind the scenes here at Dwarven Forge, and we show you what we're working on, what challenges we're facing, and we may just give you a glimpse of things to come. Mostly we're going to hang out for the next 2 hours. We're going to enjoy a frosty beverage and talk tabletop with a bunch of amazing folks. Welcome. Wow, was my mic on? Is that okay?
That's the smoothest you've ever done that.
Can we record that? Holy moly. We should take breaks more often. I feel like...
Yeah.
Well, it's been 2 weeks, so 3 weeks. How long has it been?
Trying to get your color balance right. 'Cause for some reason, you came in all yellow.
Well, excited to be back.
What's up?
I'm excited, happy to be back.
Yes, yeah, we were all at PAX last week. All two of us. And some
the
others.
rest, there were 5 other people on the
Yeah.
team, 6 other,
Yeah.
But both of us were there, yes.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to kind of recap PAX, talk a little bit about that.
Hey, Mage Brush, how you doing?
Mace?
New dagger? Oh, yeah. No, Mage Brush.
This is the mystery, this is the, from a mystery admirer, from the Doofer Collective. The blade. I'm going to paint the
community.
blade
Yeah, the
silver.
community willed it into existence.
It's a manifestation of the Dwarven army.
Yeah, because his old dagger got shipped off.
Well, actually, none of that stuff is actually shipped. It's still sitting over there. It's supposed to go out when we were at PAX. But
We've been gathering it to
it's
ship
there.
off.
It's going to happen. So if you want something, don't worry. It's going to.
Yeah.
Hey, someone was here. Apollo Rex was there.
Yeah. Did you see it? Did you come by the booth? There was somebody there who said that they've been backing since Wildlands. There was another person who said that there were a couple people who had backed Lowtown and then went there to see the props.
We had at least one person
prototypes.
that said they watched the streams.
Nice.
They didn't say what their name was, but they said, "Yeah, you
Nice.
guys on Twitch." Yeah. Then they ran away streaming.
Rex.
So anyway, we're going to talk about PAX tonight. We're before that we have any, what else is happening? What are we doing?
That's mostly it. We don't have a ton of updates on the Pledge Manager because we were doing PAX. There might be a couple things to say about it. We basically just the home team has been taking the pictures and stuff for it, so stuff's been getting made for it.
Yes.
But not a ton of updates or new stuff to announce on that front yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're going to do $50 giveaway, the halfway mark. What are we giving away?
Yeah. Polyrex says you were always either super busy or tired looking.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. I was the dude that was like, Nate, I love everything you guys do in all your videos. You gave me paraphernalia.
Oh, good. Yeah, it was like a
might be
a
liable
roach
for that.
clip. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
That kind of paraphernalia.
Is that a thing that people still do?
Probably.
Have roach
awesome.
clips? Oh, I'm glad I gave you paraphernalia.
You wanna-
Good.
You want to do the news for old time's sake?
Yeah. Well, so we're doing a $50 giveaway at the halfway point.
Yeah.
So feel free, because sometimes we forget. You should remind us if we get halfway and haven't.
They
done it.
always do.
And if you're new, you're welcome to lurk, or you're welcome to ask us questions. That's why we're here. We love interacting with you guys, sort of like me at conventions. We love interacting with the people, and mostly just be nice, because we're a bunch of people, a bunch of good folks in this industry.
2 of them mostly.
2 people. Well,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of people.
There's
Digital.
a bunch of other people in chat, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
the best people. This is why it's like our own little mini convention. We have our own little mini PAX here on the internet.
I would love to do that. I would love to do that, like, streaming monstrosity we did.
Doofercon? Oh,
The Doofercon that we did, like, 2 years ago.
that was awesome.
That was phenomenal.
Maybe we'll do a 2.5-year anniversary or something. We could.
We're over 3 years now.
Ooh.
We've been doing
3
this
years?
We've been doing this over 3 years.
Really?
We started in February 2020.
Boy,
Lowtown basically launched on the 3-year anniversary of us doing these streams.
All right, so we do a 3.5-year anniversary.
Yeah.
I missed a whole year. Who's counting? Apparently you are.
All right, let's do news
Yes.
real quick. There's not much, but you want to do your thing. Here we go.
It's the news. I knocked my. It's the news.
Did you
I
knock
knocked my
your mic off?
I knocked my
Oh, you
lavalier off
knocked the
doing the
pack
windmill guitar so hard. It was
Perfect.
Really, yeah. So what's in the news, Chris?
What's in the news? Basically, we got our friends Sly Flourish and Teo Sabadia / Alpha Stream Have a Kickstarter going right now for the is it
Forge of
Lazy Dungeon
Foes.
Masters Forge of Foes? It's under
Yeah.
Lazy. Yeah.
It's under the Lazy Dungeon Master umbrella.
Yeah. The whole point of Lazy DM, if you haven't heard of it, we love these books. It is how can you very quickly plan very good sessions? How can you do it without having to spend a bunch of time?
Smart planning. Do the stuff that counts.
And so Forge of Foes is specifically about making either adapting existing monsters or creating new monsters. How you can do that very quickly and create really unique fights without having to spend hours putting it together. So a lot of good tools in there. The work that Mike does has always been top notch.
And they're both TF collectors and fans.
Yes.
And have done. Teos wrote some modules for us. Mike has written some articles for us, or about us, whatever, guides for our things. They're just great folks, and hopefully they can make it a good record for them. Because you know what? The more money you put in that, the more they can just be writing more material.
Yeah.
Teos is trying to quit his day job so he can just be designing full time.
Let's see. Zeraxis, if you missed out on the Kickstarter, good news. We're doing late pledges.
News. Good news.
Good news. Do I have it under cities? What do I have it under?
Late pledges. We have dwarvenforge.com/cities, I think, right? City? No. Late pledge. Dwarvenforge.com/late pledge.
There we go. Yeah, if you go to that link.
It was easy to remember, see?
If you go to that link in the chat, there'll be a link there for actually signing up for a late pledge if you want to late pledge. You will still be able to get stuff in the store, but it'll be at higher prices. So we recommend getting in on the pledge manager if you can.
Late pledge early, late pledge often.
Yes. You can't currently late pledge because the pledge manager isn't open. We're trying to get it open at the end of April. We have to, because the main thing is...
Breaking news, this is in.
Oh, no.
May 2nd. May 2nd.
May 2nd?
Yeah.
We set a date?
Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
Yeah.
You're telling me this for the first time.
It's breaking news. That's why didn't you hear the beeping? That was, it coming in. I had a headpiece in there. I got it.
Did you just decide this?
No, but when was it? I don't know. It might have been a Cortex meeting while you were at you were at PAX.
Oh, was it on Monday while we were driving back?
Might have been or the Friday. No, because I was here Friday. I don't know. Or the
Perfect.
Wednesday where you go. Whatever.
Okay, so it looks like May 2nd, and we're still planning to run it for. Still planning to run it for 6 weeks.
6 years. It's going to be the longest. No, 4 weeks probably.
4 weeks
maybe,
probably.
Maybe 6 weeks. Somewhere. Oh, we know. Yeah. What did he say? I don't know. I can neither confirm nor deny any of the numbers I've just said. Other than May 2nd, it starts. I think it goes through June 2nd. I think it'll be 4 weeks.
Do a solid month. Okay. Good to know.
But it's still basically ending the same time, just opening maybe a week later.
Yeah, the main thing is we need to take a bunch of new photos. We need to make a bunch more videos because we want to make sure everything is supported. There were some things we just did not have time to support by the time the Kickstarter launched, and we want to make sure that they're fully supported by the time Pledge Manager. So what do you do?
Do you have the overhead cam?
I do.
Look at this. One of the things we're doing is... Can I see it?
We just always have this overhead cam now, which is nice.
It's the greatest thing ever. Whoa!
Oh, okay. All right. Yep. There's
Totally all as planned. Where are we going? Wait, come over here. All right. So this is... Yeah. What the hell is going on? Is it fine? Oh. Oh, you can't even get it all. Huh. Well, this is the Completionist A. It's all laid out. This is gonna be a good one for Discord. Can you even get the whole? I can't even get the whole thing up here. There's a lot of pieces. It's a lot of pieces.
So they've been photographing the Completionist stuff lately. Sylvia says it's Completionist
Thank
B.
you, Sil. Oh, A is already done, so this is B.
Yeah.
Also, Sil, I didn't see. There's a big note here that says "Do not touch." I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah.
Totally didn't touch it. Chris
Wonderful.
goaded me. You see it?
Yeah, I pushed him into it.
So Sil is. They had to put the camera up on the jib to get it because it was like.
It's
so
big.
It's
a lot of
massive.
pieces. It's potentially an unwise amount of pieces.
No, it's perfect. Wait.
All right, good.
Woo! So we have Pledge Manager, May 2nd. We will, I think we went over kind of what we had planned for that. We'll do a, well, first of all, we'll send a Kickstarter update out tail end of this week, and we'll do a deep dive into the Pledge Manager probably the week it opens. If it goes, it's May 2nd is a Tuesday, so maybe that Thursday, that Wednesday, the 3rd, we can do a deep dive OTA Pledge Manager special.
I think also, 2 weeks ago we went over the new and adjusted sets for Pledge Manager. I'm sure, are we going to put that in the update?
It won't be in this one. I think it'll be in the one right before. So we'll send an update right before it launches. We'll send an update out like April 30th, and it'll launch saying we'll have a breakdown of what to expect. Because things could change, could still change.
Stuff changes, we don't want to have.
Yeah, between now and then, stuff could change. So
that makes sense.
Let's see.
Will there be a quad landmark pledge? Maybe.
I don't think so. We'll see. Like, we kind of run out of discount. Like, there's only, if we keep, the discount keeps growing, and at some point it's just like, we're just gonna start losing money on the things. So it's like, we're kind of, particularly the landmarks, we kind of go as far as we can.
Yeah.
But you can get 2 doubles. Gives you a quad.
Yeah.
Or triple and a single.
So yeah, I don't know, we'll be looking at that, but maybe not. Who's to say?
Yeah. I would put money that it's probably not. I'll bet a Valorian ransom.
It's got Thus on it.
Who doesn't love? And the
god of soup,
Thus. God of soup, Poseidon.
Poseidon. Yeah.
Yeah. And Lord of Broth.
Lord of Broth.
It's
the planet from Star Wars.
Very, very popular. We were talking. Well, getting ahead of myself. We were talking today about building a base on Hoth. In fact.
Really? That's exciting.
Yeah, you were talking about it.
Why would we be talking about Hoth? Why are we talking about Hoth?
I don't know. Because sci-fi.
Yeah. That's exciting.
We had this is breaking news. We had some geometry tests that we put it out for sci-fi that are really exciting.
Yeah, it's very
really
cool looking. I'm very excited.
Can't wait to show something.
Yeah. So yeah, sci-fi is happening. I guess is exciting. Yeah. If you've always been like, how come sci-fi isn't happening? We're actually working on it now.
Poseidon.
Brother of Poseidon.
Brother of the ocean.
It's a brotherhood.
Poseidon. Don't tell Stefan because he'll take it. He'll use the name. It's just like, anyway.
Poseidon.
It's really good.
Yeah. So I guess the main thing, pure sci-fi or like cyberpunk?
Pure is spaceships in outer space. Ships.
We're thinking, we're
forget the Spelljammers.
Shooting for making a starship/starbase like interior system, basically.
Sort of Star Wars Firefly-esque, Starfinder-y looking.
Yeah, little dirty, I think.
Gritty. It's been lived in. It's seen a few battles.
Yes.
It's not fresh out of the Starship.
No.
Manufacturing.
It's a real hunk of junk.
Starship Naval Yard. What do you call? What's a Starship foundry? What do you call a place that makes spaceships?
Like the where they impound.
Where they impound the impound yard for derelict.
Well, you got to
ships?
put it in it's got to cover 3 dimensions.
No, but what do they when they make it? Like what?
When they make it?
Yeah, like when you build it, is it a
shipyard, star dock,
space
dock? Yeah, like what? No. Or is that is that where you park them, or is that where they actually get made? Yeah.
That's probably where you park them. Where do you make them? The shipyard?
Rabbit's here. Rabbit would know. Rabbit, where do they make spaceships?
Help us, Rabbit. You're the only one.
Where do they?
The ham dock.
Ham
That's
dock.
it. Ship it. Okay.
Perfect.
So what else do we have in the news?
We need a ham reference in the sci-fi set somewhere. You tell Eli to sculpt a piece
It'll
of
be
ham.
on like one of the little computer screens. It'll just be a little like ham, a big
ham.
that at PAX on the thing.
The game of ham.
Yeah.
Space
Orbital
factories.
Shipyard.
Orbital shipyard sounds fancy.
Ravi, you're fired. Come on, you can do better than that. Let's do this. Come on.
Space factories.
Space factory.
Yeah.
You're not even trying. Come on. The space factories around Ham Planet. I see. Thank you.
Yeah. I think that's all we really
Mini space
had news-wise. We're back from PAX.
Yeah.
We already talked about the Pledge Manager.
The restock already happened.
Restock happened.
Is there any news on? Is there new restock news?
There's the July restock which I think isn't fully. I think the collection isn't fully put together on the page
We
yet.
haven't. That's the one that we're just getting numbers on, or no? This is the next one.
It's the one we know. This is the next one.
Yeah.
We have an exciting thing. The saga of the Crystal Caverns. We had people asking if because we're getting them in Underdoom because that's like initially what they were made in. So that's like the default for crystals. People asked if we could have them in standard as well. We talked to the factory, and we are going to be getting the Crystal Caverns walls and corners in both Underdoom and standard, as well as the Misty Gateways in both Underdoom and standard.
What?
Which those are both
That's
very
a double whammy onslaught of awesomeness.
yeah, both very cool specialty caverns pieces that we
That's
haven't had in stock
dynamite.
for a long time.
Dude, those Misty Gateways are just killer.
They're very fun. You can drop them like anywhere, really.
Fun fact.
Hmm?
You know where the name came from?
Misty Gateways, Misty Step.
Predates that by about.
Is Misty Gates.
No, it's not like a porn star. You know,
All right.
It's,
Yeah.
welcome back, folks. It's it was Michelle, maybe it was Chuck. I think it was Michelle during Kevin's Eve, hearkening back to Tomb of Horrors. She threw it out there
Okay.
there was like a portal you go through there. So that was the Michelle. I'm gonna attribute it to one of the McGriffs, probably Michelle.
Which pieces are the Misty Gateways again? Have a pick. Yeah, you literally just search Misty Gateways on the site. It's literally just like a 5-pack.
It's a portal, a freestanding portal you can put its wall width, and it has one side. It kind of has some Dungeon Doom pillars, just so it's overgrown, and it's a set of portals, teleporters. You can just put in A and a B and go wherever. They're
Yeah.
awesome. You can put them anywhere, and and they pulse
Yeah.
light. They've got an illuminated thing. It's a clear thing with the LEDs in there. They're awesome, awesome.
Fun LED special effect piece. Yeah, real functioning teleporters. You can just throw your mini at it, and it'll pop them out on the other side.
We worked hard.
Yeah.
Miles went back in time to join the team and miniaturized a teleporter, and it was
Yeah.
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 It was
It's
good
we
times.
we always try to push the limits here at Dwarven Forge.
Take it to the limit.
Exactly.
That's us. Is there any other?
I think that's everything. Is anybody else
We got some
news that we-
wildland stuff coming down the next
Yeah.
one after that. We haven't actually locked in because we didn't get
We're
numbers back
working.
then,
We were looking at it, and we're like, we should rethink the escarpment layouts a little bit to make them a little more. I think like the straights are fine,
but- Hey, it's
but
Chuck.
like, hey Chuck,
Was it Chuck? Was it you or Michelle that came up with naming the portals and Misty Gateways from Tomb of Horrors? We'll find out. All right, should we dive into our hard-hitting news? I mean,
I think so.
expose on PAX.
We're gonna expose PAX.
All right.
I love
Bad
expose.
timing.
Expose makes it sound so dangerous.
Yeah,
Um,
it was an expo.
It
At
was
the
an
expo
expo.
hall.
Yeah.
Expose hall.
Exposition.
We are
I
exhibitors.
assume they've got to
We're-
have. We were exhibitionists at PAX East.
It says that on the card.
Yeah. I assume they've got to have the same root word.
It's a show.
An exposition is it's a
show.
show. So expose.
It's a show.
An exposition is where you expose. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went to PAX.
Yeah.
Where do we want to start? I made a list of some of the things I enjoyed.
Boston, fix your
Boston.
roads. Please fix your roads. Oh my God.
It's like
Oh my God.
it's like some game developer wanted to make a racing game in hard mode and put every option all at once in the same thing. They're like, well, we need to have an underpass and a bridge and a wheelie thing and a tunnel and a tight turn and a weird jug handle thing and this will split off this way and there's a three-way going that way into this thing. And like, holy moly.
We were almost in 3 different wrecks, like on the
Only
way in.
3? Yeah.
Only 3. Everything was fine for like the 4 hours we were on the highway. As soon as we get to the part where they're like, what if we just like spaghetti these roads all over each other?
It was cow paths that got paved there. It's just, yeah.
It was bad. It was real bad.
Yeah.
It was terrifying.
Yeah. Can anybody else? Yeah, accurate.
Not great.
Woo!
Apollo, do you live around there?
We survived though.
Yeah. It's ooh, that was scary. That's
Yeah.
my first impression of Boston. Fix your roads, please. A lot of them also just weren't marked. There'd be like triple wide roads where
It was just
there were no
bedlam.
lines or dividers,
Just
and it's like
bedlam. They were channeling Europe, right? It was like some,
wild.
It was wild. but
So as we were at PAX and not at Adepticon, we had some reasons for it. We want to do both, and we were actually
next year we're gonna do both.
yeah. Mason and I were talking about it, and we're saying like if they are ever at the same time again, we're just gonna split up and send two teams and do both.
Yeah. It's wildly different audiences. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but genuinely, like the issue was GDC, PAX East, Adepticon, and GaryCon were all the same week this year, which was very rough.
Wild.
So yeah, we had to make a choice this time. We barely had time to prepare and go to one convention after the Kickstarter. If we tried to do two, I don't know.
It's cobbling together a booth with Fairy Dust Dreams and some duct tape in a week to get there, but it worked out.
Yeah, for having like a couple days to actually put everything together, I'm actually very happy that went. Yeah, so general impressions.
Mace really gets a big
Yes.
props for organizing it all, and the whole team really kicked ass. Casey was there, and Ray was there, and Miles was there, and Toby was there, and you were there.
We had a number of people where it was their first con. Was it just Casey and Ray? Was that
Casey
the
and
first
Ray.
con?
That's a number.
Yeah, because Miles and Toby
two.
had done Gen Con before.
Yeah.
And I'd done Gen Con before. And Toby had done a
Toby's
bunch
done a
before.
lot of Gen Cons, yeah.
So
And Toby's done
Toby
two-
and Mace are really experienced. Me
Two
and-
PAX Easts.
Yeah. I guess I'd
Previous.
done Adepticon too. But yeah, it was. I really liked it. I love the atmosphere at PAX's specifically. I think the thing that was really nice about it was I felt like pretty much everybody that came up and talked to us was very engaged and positive, and we had a lot of like good 5-minute conversations with people where we actually got to like really actually demo things for them, and we started doing a sandbox back in Gen Con. And so we brought it back again here, and we had kids who were like playing in the sandbox for a half hour, and we'd be talking to their parents the whole time. And I left.
It was very engaged
feeling,
people.
Yeah, I left feeling like I had a higher percentage of conversations with people who like were actually genuinely interested and might end up joining the community.
Well, what was helpful
than usual.
85% of the people would just walk past the booth because they're like, I don't know what the hell, I'm here for the video games. I don't know what that is. But then the people that would, so it was already self-selecting, right? The people that would peel off and stop were already interested. And those that did tended to be would get really interested, right? So that was, for me, I have a list actually of eight things that I love about conventions, or specifically about PAX. So first is the community, right? There's just the energy. It's youthful, it's fun, it's progressive, it's queer, it's glittery, it's cosplay. It's just like there's more life in it than anything. It's just really it's a community, right? There are people. It's exciting, and we have a bunch of wonderful folks like Apollo. I'm sorry I didn't know it was you. They came up and said hi, whatever. So it's just fun to see, and we see a bunch of our friends in the industry, and get to say hi or meet. I'd never met. Oh, I messed her name up. Annika
from Hero Forge,
from Hero Forge.
I think she was checking in earlier today.
She's amazing. Just delightful people. Get to see the Eldritch Foundry folks. Get to see Elderwood Academy. Get to say hi to Norse Foundry. Get to hopefully that we love. Just I don't know. Just a bunch of wonderful. It's just nice to see friends in the community. On the line, it's nice to get compliments too, right? People come say, "Oh, your videos really helped us out. Oh man, you guys make the best stuff." Or just hearing people walk by, "More details." Like there was just there are variations on detail. Oh, I can't believe all the detail. Wow, look at all those little details. Oh, this stuff's really detailed. Like you just hear I'd like to stand outside the booth right off the thing, and you just hear the muttering premium, God tier, like all this
God tier.
Someone said, "Yeah, this is God tier stuff." Yeah,
based.
yeah. Someone's like, she's like, "Oh, don't you have this stuff in the training?" He's like, "No, this is the good stuff." Over it.
Yeah.
So it's just always it's nice and refreshing to see that. And the other sister part of that I love is seeing the wonderment, right? Like watching people see Dwarven Forge for the first time, and then you can escalate it by giving them the little demo, and you show all the stuff, and then you just watch their they explain this. It just keeps their mind just keeps getting blown open more and more and more and more. It's really fun.
One thing we've really learned over the last year is what demos are very effective for engaging people.
And that's actually a question I have for when I get through this list. I have questions for them of what we'll talk about education, tell what we did, and we should talk about if they have any ideas of what else we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Photos. People, somebody stopped in a show and say, hey, check out this build I did or whatever. And it's like, I always love seeing that stuff, right? It's just a little story and someone's cat's in there and whatever. And you're just like, it's the best. And ideas, right? Some people would share some ideas. They're like, hey, have you guys thought about doing this? Or, hey, what if you made modular laptops? Or, some of them are terrible. That literally was like, right? Like I was pitching you on like modular laptops, like using I don't know. It was
that was very funny.
That was one of the conversations that should have been over, and it just kept going. And
it just kept going, and I didn't know.
You were trapped in this thing, and
I didn't know what it. Yeah, like I was literally like.
You were literally trapped.
I was like literally quartered, and like I don't know where to go with this at this point.
So we're not going to make modular laptops until at least we've done modular ships. So we're working on that.
Yeah.
But there were some nice ideas. Some people had some ideas for sci-fi and for just stuff. It's always fun to see that. Cosplay, man, I have no idea what half the stuff is, and I just love it. The creativity. There was a girl dressed as Monopoly. She'd hand painted a whole dress with all the Monopoly things and whatever. It's ridiculous. The Pokelorian, where there were like 8 people dressed in Mandalorian masks, but they were all Pokemon themed and colored with the fins. There was a Vaporeon thing, the whole 8 of them. It was ridiculous. A lightsaber with a Bulbasaur thing. It was just like, just nonsense. Like that stuff, it's just so fun. The unbridled creativity. It's like a little bit of Burning Man in there. Where just people are just trying to outdo each other with the ridiculousness on stilts and LEDs and things, or it just never gets old. Although I didn't see Guar there. Guar was at Gen Con last year, which is the OG cosplayers.
Who was at Adepticon? Somebody at Adepticon last year was walking around with his kids who were both dressed up as they have like. He's like a music producer, and so he does like a little like band with his kids. And he's like, oh, they're all orcs, and so they had like big like orc heads on and stuff, and they're walking around with like cardboard instruments, and he was like passing out like CDs of their stuff.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
My last 2 things on the list, actually one I kind of already did, was I love seeing all the other booths, right? See what other people, like what's cooking in the industry, what creative things are people doing, what else is going on, any neat stuff. There was something like 30 different people making dice at this. I think the dice market might be oversaturated. Just saying.
You'd think that, but then you see how many dice people are buying, and
yeah, they were all. But it's kind of neat to see what folks are up to and see the latest. I don't know what the latest trends are. Those Lethal Shadows people had some pretty neat minis.
They were at Unplugged too. They have like really really well painted stuff.
Yeah, it's really awesome. And then I guess I already said this, my final favorite thing is just getting to show people DF stuff for the first time. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying the wonderment, but then it's like you get to like actually show stuff. And that was where I wanted to go. This was the revelation, which shouldn't be a revelation, but it is like most people in the world do not know that Dwarven Forge exists,
which is
or
a
that
crime,
we
really.
make this stuff. It really is.
Yeah.
It's we're working on that. But it's a reminder that just of the people that stopped, 8 out of 10 people just wanted to buy, but of the people that stopped, most of them had never seen modular gaming terrain or didn't know what this thing were, and we're just starting at like ground zero. So there was just an enormous amount of education. So that's what I wanted to kind of pull the hive mind, right? Of what else can we do for education? How to sort of ramp new people in, get them excited, and where to go with it. Does that sound fun? Well, we're going to do it anyway. So.
Yeah.
What do you want to explain some of our education techniques?
Yeah. So one of the things we started doing, like I said, like one of the things we started doing with Gen Con was a sandbox. And that has proved pretty useful because we've talked a lot. Like, really, what we want to do is, if we can get people to see this stuff in person and then feel it. A lot of people say when they get the first set and they actually feel like the weight of it and everything, it changes a lot. So having like a sandbox
and
where they can actually try things out.
You can't do that on the internet, right? No. You can't touch it on the internet. But like that's the thing. We're physically there. Get Dwarven in someone's hand. Like let them feel a piece, and like it immediately already is a thing. Ooh, there's like a heft. There's very detail. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
let them feel the magnets like stick to the terrain tray.
Every time that they go to the sandbox and they put a piece down and it sticks to the train tray, and there's that little like,
Yeah, they're like,
and they like
wait,
double, what? And you just see this like the light bulb go off, like, whoa, and they flip it over to the magnets. Nani? It's the best. What else?
Yeah.
See, Toby got me a badge, a badge flag that said on it.
Yeah, I saw that. So I think the other thing that like really hits people that I think is fun is they always assume that with LED pieces, that LED is just attached to the wall, and so when you like take out the serpent orb and like replace it with the crystal and like show them like, yeah, you can just swap any of these in here if you want. Like that's
Modularity.
massive. Modularity is a really big thing.
Well, that's right. Just the concept of modularity, a lot of people don't even, like when you have a build and you pull a piece out of the build and they're like, wait, what? And they suddenly realize everything is like small component parts.
Yeah. What other stuff do we do? We had glass cases that had core sets in them with like QR codes, and so it was like, all right, so what would it look like if I like, got a thing? We were like, here's like examples of core sets like lined up here.
It's the fun one.
What?
I do, and people go, oh, is this 3D printed? No, in fact, we hand sculpt our masters and we cast a Dwarvenite because you take it off the table, because with Dwarvenite, if you can go like this and you just throw it on the floor, and they're like, wait, what? And you pick it up, like, seeing it like manhandled, just stomped on the floor. Can't do that with a 3D printed piece.
The demo I was doing a lot was grabbing just like a dungeon wall and then just like crushing it as much as I could in like one hand and like bending it over like in half, and then it just bends back. It's the best. And I'm just like, yeah, this stuff's like very durable.
The other one that's really fun? Secret door.
Yes, we had that.
Secret door
we
corner.
explicitly put the secret door corner. We put
the Chuck special.
We put the secret door corner in the sandbox as well, and would like show that to people, and they'd lose their minds over that as well.
And I'll tell the story of like, because Chuck would tell the time, like, man, I get all these complaints from people like I didn't get my secret door. And you're like, all right, look at the skew in the bottom, flip it over. It's the one that says whatever DC 511 is the secret door. And sure enough, they go, oh my God, it was there the whole time. I didn't realize it was so secret. Like, that's the best.
Yeah.
Not for Chuck, but for not for customer service, but it's the best.
What else did we do for educational stuff at the booth? We had several builds that Toby put together that were basically sample builds of like 3 or 4 sets.
Yes.
And
Which
so
I don't
when people
think
point out, and they were like, "Oh, how much would this build be?" It's like, well, it's literally these 4 sets. It comes out to like around.
I think we
500.
could have hung a lantern on that more. Like it wasn't.
We could have.
Yeah.
I really felt like we needed more space.
Yep. Turns out 10 by 10 is not a lot of space.
No, not when we were trying to do as many things as we were.
No. The magnetic accessories is another fun one, right? You pop a thing on the wall and people, wow, cool. And or the perch, the roof perch.
The roof perch, it like specifically said, like, yeah, if you have a monk that likes running up on the roofs,
Bing.
like showing that demo is also huge. And then when the fogger would go off in the Lowtown build,
Every time.
people would be like sitting at the front looking at the builds there, and in the corner of their eye they would see the fog go off and like they would scream. It's great.
And it was on interval mode, so it would go off for a sec and then stop, and so people would do that like double take of like, swear to God, I just saw fog coming out of that. And then it would happen again. I'm like, or they'd poke their friend, like, look, and they'd look and it's gone. They're like, no, there was fog. You wait. It was so good.
So yeah, like that stuff. Magebrush, were you at PAX? The roofs blow your mind. Were you at PAX? Did you see any of the demos? If so, I would love to hear. If anybody in the chat did meet us at PAX, I would love to hear how the impression went off. How you felt as like a new person coming in.
Well, except they're probably not a new person if they're in chat, right? Unless they were a new person.
You would think, unless they started following our socials and stuff.
PAX.
You're with Eldritch Foundry? Oh!
Woo!
How much did you know
Is that
about
Isaiah?
How much did you know about our stuff? I don't know if they want to dox themselves, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah. How much did you know about our stuff before the con? You're Andrew. I need to get back to your email. I've been very busy.
Turns out, not sleeping.
Not sleeping
Yeah,
yet.
there was a lot going on.
The second I got back, it was like, okay, there's 3 collaborations. We like have.
Well, you were already doing
deadlines
stuff on
on
the car back. You're like, gotta get this out.
Yeah, I was like putting stuff in on the car back, and then Tuesday morning,
So
Yeah.
my question to all of chat, while we wait for Andrews, was what else, what else should we do for for education, right? For brand new person who walks by, doesn't know anything. What else do they need to see? What else would help them kind of figure it out? We had Zoltar's Game Room and Starter Dungeon, or Dungeon Core and Caverns Core, like in the sets, so we could point to some specific starter sets, whatever. But like, what else? There are other things that we should show people. How can we help people get started?
So you've seen a bunch of it online, never got a chance to play and really see it in person. How did it hold up in person, like compared to what you thought, having seen it on Critical Role and stuff? What was your reaction kind of seeing it in person? Like how did it stack up? Jeremy says, why not sponsor some of your customers with some basic product when they go to these bigger Comic-Cons? Set up a booth, promote product, education, saves us from being there. I think we're worried about having a booth where we aren't there to kind of actually be a representative. However, one thing I have been talking about is games. There are people who we've met through cons we've done who like to use our stuff when they do games.
Yeah.
And so we're thinking if we could provide you with terrain and help you with like stuff to decorate your booth with as you're going around. And people ask about the terrain, be like, oh yeah, that's Dwarven Forge. And maybe you have like a card or a sign or something specifically about the terrain at your booth. That could be big for us. If you're demoing your game, or even if you're just demoing your game and people play on it, they're like, oh man, this terrain's made, like, you made this? It's like, well, no, actually it's Dwarven Forge. Because people are used to like handcrafted foam terrain and stuff like that.
I mean, said she saw builds at other booths at PAX Unplugged.
Yes,
which is something that you did.
At PAX Unplugged, we found 3 different booths that were demoing their games, because Unplugged is a lot of indie game devs.
Yeah.
And there were 3 of them that were running demos on our terrain for their games. And so Mason and I were talking afterwards, and we were like, yeah, when we go back to this, it would be nice to reach out to them ahead of time, and like when we have a booth at, because we're planning to actually have a booth at Unplugged this year. We want to like actually like really make a go of it, assuming it all works out. We could have a thing where it's like, hey, go visit these other booths, these other people. If you want a chance to like play on our terrain, these people are doing demos. Maybe we do a thing where it's like, if you can get a stamp from each of the other booths or games or whatever that are doing this stuff, maybe we give you like a little prize or something. And just kind of like do like a kind of
bag of Valorian gold.
Yeah. We want to do more cross promotion with like other cool people that we know are in the industry. Maybe make like a good like little camaraderie thing. Pie in the sky, we wanted to do that for PAX East, but we wound up, Lowtown got pushed back. We wound up not having a ton of
getting
time.
to PAX East and having anything there was already like, we were already stretched thin. So what else we got? Someone said swap the trees.
Oh yeah, we had
The tree
swappable trees in
toppers.
the sandbox as well. We were like, yeah, all these trees are peg trees. You can swap them around. We had at the sandbox, we had a cavern, a dungeon, and a wilderness section basically, and they were all just like small 12 by 12s on a terrain tray.
Dwarven Forge goes so well with D&D Onslaught. We have to try Onslaught. They were demoing the heck out of it at the WizKids.
They were. I don't know that we can get them
Adepticon,
to.
right?
I don't know that we can get them to use our terrain at the WizKids.
No, but we could set. It's an easy thing we could show.
Yeah, we could.
That's a good. Funny enough too that they're not using Warlock.
Okay, Andrew says it was more than expected. Like you already covered, the weight, magnets, overall quality felt loads better than other terrain competitors. Let's put it this way: I've listed all my Warlock stuff, so I can finally switch over. Oh, thank you.
And said they loved it at the Eldritch
Yeah,
Foundry
I need her to help.
EF and
help you find
DF
the stuff you
together.
want.
That's like.
People loved it at the EF booth.
And
I'm really glad. Yeah,
alphabetically.
I was hearing that like you were getting a lot of stuff for it there. So if it helps catch people's eyes, like that's nice. Dwarven Forge is great for Frostgrave, yeah. And that's the thing. At Unplugged, like on top of having a booth at Unplugged, I really want to find ways to get us on like free play tables and stuff. I've been talking to the Penny Arcade guys about how we can make that happen. So hopefully that'll come to fruition.
Yeah. Could have games that
The
are
problem with
popular.
running games at our booth specifically is that takes up space. And we have so much stuff we want to cover. It might be difficult to do games at our booth specifically and still get the other stuff across that we're trying to.
We find the people that make those games and give them some DF. Like we did, like giving Eldritch Foundry stuff to have at their booth is like such a win, right? Also cool, they gave us a bunch of minis to display with a little sign too, so we could send people over their way. This is a nice cross promotion.
Yeah, as I said, we're looking at Legion really heavily, especially now that we're
Yes.
doing sci-fi. It's like, especially once we have this sci-fi set, there's a whole new set of ways that we can like make a push when we're talking about sci-fi terrain compared to what we've been doing with fantasy terrain for a long time.
Yeah.
So there's definitely that.
It's gonna be awesome.
But I think finding ways to have games where people can play on it that might not be at our booth, but we can tell people like if you want to play on it, like we've got this stuff
Hey,
going on over here.
so
this stuff
they're
going on
running
over
at
here.
this table, at this
Yeah.
booth, at this whatever. Here's a checklist of 4 places you could play. That's actually would be a really neat. I mean, if we, I guess we probably don't know for him, but if we had a flyer, you could just hand them and say, "Hey, here's how you could play with." Like,
It's all about having enough heads up for us to actually be able to put
yeah,
that stuff together.
It's probably not possible, but
We can probably do that with Gen Con and Unplugged, assuming that we don't have a Kickstarter that ends a week before them.
hey, guess what Rabbit Burner just said? I said,
Sci-fi terrain should go well with Warhammer 40k boarding action games. What are you doing? Are you going to? You're not showing them the stuff, are you? Are you showing them the stuff? Okay, no. Okay. Warhammer. Beautiful.
something like that.
Kill Team? Yeah.
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 The game of, which sounds weird, right? Intense boarding actions in the 41st millennium. That's weird.
They're all on skateboards.
boarding
now.
actions, yeah.
Yeah, they're all skaters.
Ripping it and gripping it. Yeah. Oh. You see how well Hamster's painted all this? It really is.
It sells
Just
platinum
arrived
balls.
today, Hamster Rabbit.
We've been bulking up on a lot of games recently, and Hamster's been painting a bunch of armies because we want to make big war game pushes. Let's see. Don't play any sci-fi, but what if there was DF terrain? I think what they're cooking up is going to be appealing, even if you haven't done sci-fi before.
Yeah.
They're
I mean,
doing
hey, no better time to start playing some Starfinder.
'Cause here's the
or
thing.
some Stargrave.
We're
or
gonna
some Star Wars.
We're gonna help show you how to play some sci-fi games when we're doing sci-fi.
Dude,
like
we're
we're
gonna
definitely
have a kill team that looks cool. Like that terrain, no offense, GW, your models are gorgeous. That terrain in that box is stupid looking. It is
Mm-hmm.
like, looks like a weird cyberpunk mansion, or the other steampunk. It's like a weird steampunk mansion or something. It doesn't make any sense. It's not a spaceship. It is, and there's skulls on the spaceship. I don't know. But anyway.
Shatterpoint when Shatterpoint comes out, we'll do
Yeah.
Shatterpoint. Hamster and I have been very excitedly talking about Shatterpoint ever since like the release. We were like, yeah, this is like right up our alley. We were talking about like doing like a Shatterpoint game, making like a Hellscape build to do like Mustafar for Shatterpoint. We just gotta wait for that to come out, you know.
I agree.
Lancer, yes. Oh man.
You love Lancer. Not a week goes by that you don't mention Lancer.
I
It's
talked
great.
about Lancer. I talked about Lancer at the Acquisitions Incorporated game. The showrunner, who I spent a lot of time kind of working with, because he was like the one like coordinating, like, okay, this is when we're gonna go out and like change the terrain out and everything. As I was like building out the dungeon, he was like, now we just need you guys to make Lancer minis and terrain. And I was like, hey, you want to talk about? You want to talk about?
Hey,
I was like, wait, you want to talk about Lancer for a bit?
Oh,
you,
it's amazing.
you want to see the Gorgon that I printed and painted?
Yeah, Tyler, if you guys didn't see it, Tyler and Chris did a really cool build for the AC Inc. game that ran at PAX. And Chris Perkins ran a game on it and used it as cool storytelling tools. And
Yeah.
We should put a link. Do we have a there's
Yeah, actually, there's.
yeah, if you want to see the game.
I'll get the YouTube link for it real quick.
I mean, I don't know how you managed to pull that together. Like, that was...
I
literally,
did.
like 3 days after the Kickstarter, you're like building out a thing for AC Inc.
That's-
and then
I mean, yeah,
rolling
that's-
this,
that's-
and like, oh, it was...
That's
Yeah.
what we did. Was just the couple days after the Kickstarter, we were just like, okay, we need to prep as much of this as we can before we actually go away for a week.
Oof.
And then then we were all just kind of knocked out for a week.
When you needed feedback and hope, like,
That was the main thing. We needed to give them time to like look
is
at it.
this
and
in the
approve it.
right? Are we like? Is this in the right zone? Is this going to be cool?
Yeah. The fun thing about this, game, was we built it like the way it basically worked was Perkins told us generally what he wanted to do, and then we built it around that. And he was like, just make like a dungeon that could work for this, and I'll design the actual encounters and stuff around it.
Yes.
So we put like all this stuff in it. We used the artificer reliquaries as like playable objects. We put like all kinds of like little bits and dressing in there, and he designed around and used all of it. I don't know.
You know what
how
it's
we
like?
had the time, and it was
It's the 3D version of using like a Dyson Logos map and just like writing, finding a cool map that you like and then just writing an adventure around it. It's the same thing. It's a 3-dimensional interactive one. He's like, oh, cool, I can do this, and like, it's awesome.
It was fun. Like
I mean, it's not his first rodeo too. Like he probably.
Yeah, it turns out he's one of the more prolific DMs.
Turns out Chris Perkins knows how to DM. Huh?
Yeah, turns out he knows what he's doing. But yeah, like if you haven't seen Ack Inc. before, they've been doing this show for 14 years. But this is actually a very good episode to get in on. This is the first episode of like the second series, which is kind of a reboot. So it's actually a very good time to get in on it. They only do like 3 or 4 episodes a year. They basically just play at conventions. They do these live games, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yeah, they asked us to do this, and it was like we have to. Like it's like Ack Inc. is phenomenal, and it was just really fun. Specifically, yeah, that's the guy that Nate spilled blood all over.
In his eye. Yeah.
But I don't know. Like the thing that was very fun about
should
it
have had
was,
a blood cannon hidden in there that would just like pop up and spray him in the face with blood at the end. Just when he
great. Let's never get invited back to Ack Inc. again. We it was really fun. Like I feel like it was a phenomenal showcase for our stuff because everybody was so engaged with the terrain. Like Perkins actually put like use cases behind all of it, and all of the players were like actively using and interacting with all of it, and they were like paying attention to the details and making jokes out of the layout of rooms.
Give them a sandbox and they will use it.
Specifically made a room just for Jasmine, and sure enough, Jasmine noticed it and pointed it out, and they got like a good 5 minutes of jokes out of it. Yeah. So that was nice. Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I was very stressed leading up to it because I was afraid of like ruining their game. But then it all happened, and it was like very sick. And now that I've done it once, it's like, okay, cool. I understand how to do
the rules of engagement.
Yeah, I understand how to do this more efficiently now if we need to.
That's awesome.
But yeah, the players got so excited when we were bringing the second one out. They were just like, "Oh God, I see lights.
What's next? Oh no!"
Yeah, well, they were so excited about it, and then everything. It's a very good rapport. It's a lot of people.
It's a treat to have have a big set to play in, like on your table with a live audience and a thing like.
It's a bunch of people.
Fun.
It's a bunch of people on the top of their game with a super engaged audience, and they're super funny. But then they also like work really cool lore into it. There are a couple sections where like the jokes kind of just dropped and Perkins just laid out like actual like cool like dramatic moments. And it's I don't know. It's a very cool show. I'm very happy that we got to be involved in it, and I hope we get to do more.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Sure we will.
Yeah.
Until they get a license with WizKids.
Nah, we're fine.
So let's go back to education.
Yes.
What else? I don't know how we got here, but it was a great...
something happened. I don't know.
Something sparked a memory. So, education, what else?
We talked about Lancer, that's why.
What else could we do about... how else can we get new, kind of onboard new people at a convention, and where should we send them? Like, what else would be helpful to get started?
We talked about making a little brochure of
a catalog of
a little pamphlet that has like core sets and like some like explanations and stuff. Maybe we make a bunch of those and let people take them.
We should make an evergreen Discord.
After conventions, I keep going like, oh yeah, we need just like a QR code to go to the Discord.
Yeah.
And I forget about it until we're at the convention every time.
Yeah.
We need to I should just make it now, and then put it in the convention stuff, and then when we get to
at Gen Con you gave me one on my phone.
Yeah, I made one, and like that was something, and we did get a couple people into the Discord through that, but. Yeah, I feel like our Discord is a very good tool, and we need to leverage it more.
Ooh, mini adventures that you can make using a core set plus all charges of 3 or 4 different builds. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, we kind of started going that direction with the builds Toby made this time.
Doing.
Make them for your web store and hand out a QR code that links. So we've already got that. We've already got QR codes for the web store and everything. Yeah, awesome and fast sign-ups. Yeah, so basically what we had was we had QR codes to go to the store, and then we had QR codes to go to the Lowtown Late Pledge sign-up, basically.
Yep. We didn't do was actively collect those late pledge addresses at the booth, which I think was a mistake in retrospect. Like, if people were interested, take down their email.
We didn't have any motivator for it. Was the main thing.
But if they were interested, like, just capture it then and there or whatever. Or we could have figured out a motivator if we, like, in retrospect, I think it was a mistake to just give them a postcard and hope for the best versus if they show the interest, say, hey, well, just give us your email right now, we'll send you the invite, kind of thing. Because I don't know how many people we lost that way, but
maybe I don't know. It's hard to because I also feel like it makes things generally less inviting when you're.
Yeah, I mean, you give them a postcard also, but there's no reason not to get if they're on the fence or they're interested or whatever. Like, just get it while it's there and in their mind,
Maybe.
Because there's a lot going on in the convention. There's a lot of they might lose the postcard. They might there's so many things that can happen between A and B that if they're interested and they want to give it, you can boom.
Well,
off you go.
When they see one of our late pledge ads, they'll get reminded.
That's true. We blast them with those.
And I think that's really the highest value. The highest value is just giving them a very positive memory of us so that then when they see an ad or something in the future, when they are at their computer and they get reminded, it's like, oh yeah, I should look into this.
Assuming they know it's us. We didn't have branding was not strong at the booth. Like a bunch of people go, oh, this looks kind of like Dwarven Forge stuff, and someone was like, wait, no, I think it is. Or, like, oh, whoops.
Yeah, we had a couple.
Might kind of need to have a few Dwarven Forge signs. Huh?
We had a couple accidents.
Well, the tent was missing a leg, so there was no big
hard
signs.
Hard to make it stand with
three-legged.
Three legs. Yeah. Yeah. So you can have a locked company iPad with a website on it, quick links to sign ups for things like newsletter. We would need space for it. I feel like if we had more space, it'd be easier to set up a sign up section as well. Yeah. I think that's really it. Just need more space.
Puzzle floors.
Because we really kind of we barely fit everything we were doing.
Yeah,
into the space we had.
Very much space.
Yeah. Need an old school product catalog. Another thing we were thinking about doing is, especially if we have a bigger space to set things up this way, we had those like stacked glass cases where there were like we could put 4 things in each one, and we were thinking about what if we had placards attached to them, and it's like this is the dungeons case, and it's got like cards on it with information about how the dungeons work and like a breakdowns there, so people could get that information.
Visual education without having like a person explain. You can just scan down quickly with your eyes and understand modular gaming terrain.
And it's showing the core sets, and it's like this is what this core set does that is specifically very interesting, stuff like that. Yeah.
A
lot of people are saying having playable games is a huge thing, which I do agree, and I think it takes
a lot of space.
I think us linking up with people who are planning to be running games there anyways is the best thing we can do. And
we link up with the AL or link up with somebody that's going to be running some games that's not in our booth that we can have out in the wild. Because then it's multiple touch points at Dwarven Forge, right? If they don't go past the booth, but they go past that table where that game's running, they see it, or both.
Chuck says, move the new to Dwarven Forge stuff from the Kickstarter mini site to our store page. Do we not have a new to Dwarven Forge section on our site?
We do have a new backers thing, but maybe the new stuff is better.
Oh, I thought we had a new to DF section.
No, we need to overhaul.
Is it under info?
The website needs an overhaul anyway. We need some education pages about our stuff.
Yeah, there's a number of things that we want to update about the site.
Agree with Chuck.
Yeah, we should do that. Subscribe. Oh, that's for the emails. Got it. It's like, why do we have a YouTube subscribe link on our main page? Let's see. Could you make a moving magnet board that moves pieces in different arrangements while on display?
That would be awesome. Chuck can engineer that.
Yeah, I feel like we just want people to be moving themselves.
The sandbox. Get them in the sandbox.
I want a bigger sandbox.
Getting people to sit in the sandbox, just touch the pieces, play around, move, whatever. Well, our arrangement was you could only really have 1, maybe 2 people in there.
Yeah.
At any given time, and then it cluttered up the whole thing, and kids would park in there for half an hour and sitting.
Which was great.
It was awesome.
I think a lot of those parents are going to genuinely look at getting Dwarven Forge for their kids after this. But
also nice that it's just a convention revolving around screens, like having a thing for little kids to actually do that's analog and engaging, and they're creating stories, and it was just it was awesome.
And Rabbit brings up that not having product to sell does hurt us. If people can walk
It's
away holding pieces, that's something.
Yeah. Here's
I feel like we should at least do it with reliquaries, honestly.
There's the two problems are, one, reliquaries is easy because they're small. Like, it's right, just keeping stock. Like, as soon as we have to do it, we have to have point of sale. It ties up at least one person. Basically, just has to be working the sales stuff. You have to have stock out in the van and bring it in and refresh it each day and whatever. So, but the bigger one is it becomes a sales tax thing. If we charge, as soon as we sell something physically there, we have to charge sales tax for everything we ever sell on our web store in Massachusetts, to anybody in Massachusetts, forever. So there's
Wait,
that.
really? Even web store purchases in...
Yes. It's so infuriating.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's bonkers, right?
It's tough because I know with larger sets, the problem is also you got to carry that stuff around the rest of the day, and it can be heavy.
Yes.
But
Unless we had
that's
to
the whole thing
pick
with
up,
reliquaries. You're like, oh, they're smaller. It's easier.
unless we had to pick up something, like if there was a way to do a, they could say, hey, I want these 4 sets. And I don't know how we'd do it. Like, you'd have to, they could pick it up at the end of the day.
I think one of the best things we could do.
We don't
to
have the
encourage-
manpower for that.
I think one of the best things we could do to encourage sales would be to have some sort of, hey, no shipping on
No shipping.
this.
We just keep
No
it.
shipping. You got to come up here and pick it up.
Yeah. But if there was a
if we do-
QR code you could scan for like a Gen Con special, you can get any of these 3 core sets with no shipping or whatever. They'll be there when you get home.
Maybe even doing like a follow-up email for people who signed up through PAX or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
There are things we could do. I think, honestly, if we had more time to turn around PAX East, we would have thought more about it, but we just were trying to get there.
Yeah.
It's something to think about for Gen Con, though, I
But
think.
fundamentally, we agree with you, Rabbit, that it would be awesome if people could walk away with a thing in hand, right? A piece of terrain, a set of terrain, really, a stack of sets of terrain, for sure. We're working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Con only pieces? That'd be bad. Man, let's not make more chase pieces.
And manufacturing a thing and whatever.
People would get real mad.
And that's why people like stampede in on Gen Con the first day, like the
Because they're trying to get the exclusives. And it's
Yeah.
one thing if it's like minis or something, but if you're talking about like a building piece,
Oy.
it can be rough.
Diagonal, one vaulted diagonal wall.
That's just not our culture. I don't know. Man, I don't know.
It would be awesome.
I don't feel like that's what we want to do with our product. If we had like, if we always like had all our stuff in stock and there were never any concerns about having to chase pieces or anything, it'd be one thing. If it was just these con pieces, but if we already are still, if we're already still fixing our stock issues,
we can't even restock like diagonal walls. Like we can't make a new piece just for a con.
Man, also if it's a con exclusive piece, like are we making a mold for something that we're only going to sell once and then I don't know.
Siocast.
Yeah.
Something, but no, it's not quite efficient for us. But
yeah. Do you ever just do a giveaway at a con? Maybe just a small core set. We haven't. We could. There's a lot that we could think about. We really just need more. We just needed more time.
Wow, I brought a starter set from Nate at PAX U in 2019.
Tutor starter painted.
That's amazing. Was I nice to you?
Is it okay to sell in Philly?
There's so many people we interact with at conventions.
Is it okay to sell in Philly? Is it just Massachusetts that's the problem?
It's every state.
So what did we do about Philly?
I think we'd already done something. Oh, we were selling through. We were at the. We were sharing with Die Hard.
So it was technically going through them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Use the coins as a giveaway, please. We got to get rid of these coins. Let's see.
You get. And then, like, as if it wasn't hard enough to carry 50 pounds of Dwarvenite around, we're going to put 10 points.
How about each of these coins is real metal?
Yeah.
You want to carry a bag of real metal coins around? How many coins do we still have? A lot.
Thousands.
A lot of coins.
Thousands.
Let's see. Just post-con discussion? Yeah, mostly. We're just talking about like what we did and
Yeah, seeing how we can educate people, recapping.
love coins in the store. Yep,
Um,
coins are in the store. If you search for coins on the store, you will find them. There's a 50-piece bag and a 100-piece bag. Nate, you were always nice. I think it was you and Nina there when I was around scoping the build.
Yeah. It
Nina,
was just Nina, Selena, and I at PAX Unplugged in 2019 because we were in the Die Hard booth. We just had a stretch of table this foot wide. Yeah, it was fun.
60-piece and 120-piece? Oh no, I've been exposed. I'm a fake coin salesman.
Hey, you know what we're gonna do? You know what we're gonna do next week?
Sci-fi coins?
No, they don't use coins in this space.
They don't use coins in
credit
space.
cards.
They use, it's all credits.
Yeah.
What are we doing next week? What's going on?
We're gonna do. So start thinking now. Next week we're gonna do. We're talking about what the heck was the Cities Untold postmortem. So we're going to do a little deconstruction of the Kickstarter. So we're doing our team deconstruction of the Kickstarter next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. So what we do after each Kickstarter is we do an overly prolonged brainstorm session over 2 days where we go through sort of each aspect of the thing and say, hey, what really worked from this? What didn't work? How do we improve the stuff that wasn't working? How do we build on the stuff that was working? Are there things that we want to try differently? And kind of do that for like all the different aspects of it so we can we try to make each one a better experience, both for us and for you guys, the backers. And that's how like the new pledge structure came about and the stretch goals and whatever was a bunch of those discussions. Chris synthesizes sort of all the feedback from Discord and gathers that up, and we say what were the people responding to, what do we respond to, whatever. So we're doing that next week. But so we thought we would do on here. We want to hear your feedback live also. And we can talk about some of those learnings and whatever, and kind of hear what you have to say. It's a chance to we just want to keep improving, right? No matter we don't want to have it be the same. We want to just make it better in any ways that we can. And try some different things, right? See if some different stuff works. Like the stretch goal thing. Which
Tortiverse, we will be sending out an email survey, but it'll probably be after the Pledge Manager once that's all wrapped.
We want to do it after the Pledge Manager so that you can kind of be through the experience, right? You did the whole thing sort of stem to stern, and now is the long waiting, and during that waiting you can fill out the survey. We're probably going to do 2 surveys, I think. I don't know. I think we'll do one on the Kickstarter, and we might do another sci-fi survey before we launch that thing.
Dear God, please don't talk about spacers anymore. Oh, so you don't want us to do sci-fi? All right, cancel sci-fi, I guess.
We're no outer spacers?
Yeah.
Just inner spacers?
Yeah, just inner spacers. People forget the Kickstarter fieldings by then? Well, because we want the feedback like after the Pledge Manager too, like the changes that happen there.
How did the Pledge Manager work? What else you want to see in there? Yeah.
Yeah, because the Pledge Manager is going to be like a more complete thing. It's where they can actually like see the final breakdown of all the sets and everything.
And make your final choices. And did you have enough information to make all your choices?
We did.
Whatever.
We did collect. I mean, I don't know. I'm always reading everything everybody says online, everywhere.
For good or for ill.
For better or worse. So we got plenty of fresh reactions like during and after the Kickstarter. And we also had post-mortem threads on the forum and the Discord to collect. Like, we collected a lot of stuff there, and I'm going to be breaking that down and getting it all together for the meetings next week.
Woo! Hey. Well, because we want, fundamentally, we want your feedback. We value your feedback, and we're always looking for ways to try and improve this one way or another. Hey, we should do a giveaway.
Yeah. What's a good word?
I think Vertex sort of said it has to be blood cannons, one word.
All right.
So that's the word.
Blood cannons, plural?
Blood cannon, singular. Let's keep it canon.
Blood cannon, singular. That way, if you type it either plural or singular, it'll work, actually. If you want a chance to win a $50 Dwarven Forge gift card, type blood cannon in chat.
Who's eligible for this, Chris?
Everybody's eligible, as long as they don't work at Dwarven Forge. If you work at Dwarven Forge, do not type blood cannon. I cannot stress enough. We will not give you a gift card if you work for the company.
In fact, you'll be stealing it from some worthy viewer.
This $50 Dwarven Forge gift card can be used to buy anything in the store.
Anything? Even
Anything in the
Valorian
store.
coins?
Even Valorian coins. You can also hold onto it and use it for the Cities Untold Lowtown Pledge Manager.
Well,
If
when
you
does
would
that open, Chris?
Probably May 2nd.
Woo! A definite probably.
Probably May 2nd. Woo!
Ooh, we got a first-time chatter.
Snow Dog. That's a great name.
Welcome, Snow Dog.
Ice Falcon Karza. You can tell who is making names based off of D&D characters and stuff that they've made,
It's awesome.
which is always fun.
Like Dragos von Dragos?
Probably.
Yeah, he said it was his first D&D character.
It's like is like a dragon.
It was in 1920. He was.
In 1920.
He's pretty old. He was a time traveler. See, he went to the future and played D&D.
He loved doing the Charleston.
Yeah.
Lindy Hop.
He was
That was in the
a real
20s.
Lindy Hopper. His
It's a real Lindy
seersucker
Hopper.
suit and stuff.
Man, times were good. Let me tell you. Times were good, and they were never going to stop being good.
I don't know. I was dead. I wasn't born yet.
Yeah, I don't
I
know
was
if you, I
dead
don't know
in
if
the
you not being
future
born yet
past.
doesn't mean you were dead.
It was. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna do a full episode tonight. I think we're both need to go to sleep.
Yeah. I don't know why you would think that.
I don't either.
Just got my first Dwarven Forge order in the mail, so stream's well timed. Hey, congratulations! What'd you get?
This is all right. We're gonna start interrogating you now.
Just got your
Dog.
first order. Were you at PAX? Did you order because you saw us at PAX?
And what did you order? How
Also,
did you
we're getting-
find out about us?
We're
Hey,
getting
Paul's here.
we're getting new customers at such a high rate now compared to a couple of years ago. It's very nice.
I don't even know where they're coming from. It doesn't make sense.
The actual outreach that we do now, and
turns out.
the stock that we have in our store.
Turns out having stuff, talking to people on the internet and having stuff to sell, works out.
Turns out having things for people to buy and letting them know they can buy them goes a long way.
Huh.
My name is a LARP character in the system they were created in. I genuinely just thought that Finley was your actual name.
Yeah.
I assumed, yeah. I love buying stuff. Dude, it's like the number one thing I do with my money.
What?
If you consider my apartment
What else
bought,
would you do with? Yeah.
I can give it away, I guess.
Yeah.
If you build it, they will buy it.
Snow Dog.
If you build it and make it available, they will buy it. We've
Paging
built a lot
Snow
of
Dog.
things.
Snow Dog, we want to know what. How did you find out about Dwarven Forge?
You just found a YouTube video.
What did you
got Zoltar's
buy?
Game Room. Hey, YouTube videos.
All right.
Hey, so that's organic
found
reach
a
on
YouTube.
YouTube. That's
Huh.
wild.
Do you know what the video was?
I get called Finley by so many people these days. It was a character I played for 15 years.
That's
Wild.
awesome.
My name is a bad pun. Dr. Devidence?
Critical Role.
Is that a bad pun? Oh, no, Critical Role was Arget, got it. Dr. Devidence. Bad pun.
Evidence.
Doctor...
Is like evidence? Doctor.
Doctored Evidence. Doctored
Doctored
Evidence.
Evidence.
Beautiful.
Wow, that's awesome.
Nice. That just is a Phoenix
is
Wright character.
awesome.
You just made a Phoenix Wright character. Congratulations.
Oh, I
That's
love
that's
that.
that's phenomenal. That's very good. Oh man.
That's
How
fun.
have they not had a Dr. Devidence in Ace Attorney so far? Wild.
Oh, I think it was a Caverns showcase video. Couldn't resist getting in a dungeon. That's awesome.
Oh, like getting started with caverns or nice. Interesting. Targeted Facebook ad for Wildlands Lord.
Whoa, targeted Facebook ad working.
No, the ads work. My name is my name and bread I like.
Paul, are you going to be at Gen Con again this year?
PETA's pretty good. Yeah, you said earlier they're going to be
That's
there.
awesome. Awesome.
Getting started with caverns.
Huh.
Wild that it got recommended. My concern is that our videos won't really get organic traffic and be recommended to people who don't already watch our stuff, which is why we started making things like the Forge Reports.
Yeah.
That would have like
Somehow,
keywords that aren't just Dwarven Forge. That like getting started with caverns being recommended to you is
Well, wait till we
Actually,
have
really
Getting
interesting.
Started with
Yeah.
Dungeons coming later, 2023.
it's a good thing. Like it's a
Or
good thing.
4.
I'm pleasantly surprised about that. Yeah,
Cool.
we're getting started with Dungeons, getting started with Wilderness are both planned for this year after we finish these reconfigs. Two people, yeah, a lot of people are from Critical Role. That makes sense.
My brother showed me Caverns Team Kickstarter day after it closed.
If only we had
Your
taken
brother's a
pledges.
jerk.
Need to do some YouTube Shorts. Hey, I got great news about that. Now that YouTube Shorts are no longer on the same like page as regular videos. We've actually been preparing and uploading some of the social videos that we had made as YouTube Shorts to go up. So hoping to start releasing those soon. Wife dragged me in by getting hired here. Thank you, Chuck.
You know, she really did drag you in, huh? When someone at PAX, someone said, oh, you know, he's like, I love your stuff, like, thanks for all the whatever. So cool. And he kind of walked up, and his girlfriend scurried back over, and she's like, listen, you know, not for nothing. She's like, I was making fun of him because he was like watching these like stupid videos about you guys on YouTube, whatever. And she's like, and then I kind of started watching them too, and now we both love Dwarven Forge. And she ran off.
That's phenomenal.
That was awesome. She was like, I was making fun of him for this like Dragon Doll hat stuff, and she's like, oh, I didn't. Wow.
Oh, that was Apollo.
Was that Apollo?
Yeah, it was Apollo.
Oh, your
and his
girlfriend's
girlfriend,
awesome.
apparently.
It made my day. Because she was just like so happy with it. She was like,
to
you
your
know, I
Dwarven
thought
Forge?
these were stupid videos, but then it turns out you guys are kind of awesome. And this product is amazing.
Dwarven Forge came up on your YouTube feed when looking at terrain building stuff. That makes sense. That I understand.
Yeah.
What happens to my Dwarven Forge collection when I die is the real question. Pass it on. That like
Nerd Tower.
Dwarven Forge can be an heirloom product. Is I think very cool.
We now live in the Nerd Tower. This is awesome.
She calls you guys Nerd Tower. Wild.
It's so good. Toys forever.
I started with Dwarven Forge Caverns because I didn't like the Warlock version. Oh, so you were fairly new then. Warlock Caverns were pretty recent.
Yeah.
I knew a Dwarven Forge years
Exciting.
prior, but found the web store confusing. It's better now. Yeah, it still has. We still have work to do on it, but it's a far sight better than it was.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Let's see.
We should roll this giveaway.
Yeah, let's roll the giveaway. Has anyone insured their Dwarven Forge? I'm sure
Ooh.
somebody has. If you buy a lot of it, like that's an asset. All right, and JL Adams 010.
Woo, congrats.
Congratulations. Let me give you a little whisper real quick. JL Adams 010. I'm gonna whisper you on here. Just need to get email I can reach out to you at. Boom. There we go. Boom
Is that a
shakalaka.
headbanging skeleton? That was awesome.
Yeah, I think is that from Ghost 144? Okay, so that's from some streamer. I don't know them.
Tiny furniture plus dungeon insurance.
That's a good idea, actually. Which one?
So,
Dwarven Fortress Orange.
So, is there anything else we should cover on PAX tonight? Is there anybody have any questions about PAX? Any ideas for our next up? We have Gen Con, and then Unplugged, and then maybe next year we'll
So
do
excited for
like 6
Unplugged. I love
conventions.
Unplugged. I love the location. I love being in Philly.
Yeah.
Leak the date for PAX Unplugged? Oh, I don't even think we know. Is it not out yet?
I don't know. It's probably the first weekend in December.
Sometime in December, yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, wow, that's a lot of messages at once. Started with Dungeon of Doom, finding it by random on the Kickstarter site after I got into Kickstarter a dungeon dressing campaign. Discovered 3D, did research on DF, went all in. Thing with the web story is some of the pictures feel misleading, not necessarily in depth or a bad way, in a vacuum only surrounded by other pieces. We need to redo a lot of images on there and kind of solidify a
I thought the
consistent.
city streets were 2x2.
Because, like, yeah, depending on. Well, hey, they're twice as big as you thought, which isn't a bad thing necessarily. It's better than it being the opposite way around, I think.
Doctored evidence, 100% on UK Games Expo. It is very heavily on our radar.
Basically, when we get this board game going, like, especially once the board game's going, we should be going overseas to support it.
Essen.
Yeah. Because Stephen Baker,
Yes.
like, we should go overseas. Love seeing your builds on Dungeons & Drakenheim. Want to try them on my own game?
Wait.
Hey!
Orion Noir got hooked on the DF stop motion. That's amazing.
Huh.
And
You're making a board game? Yeah, we're working on a board game with Stephen Baker. We don't have, like, solid deadlines on it, but
Where
it's
Heroes
chugging away.
Dare.
Yeah, Where Heroes Dare.
It's going to be a kind of a spiritual successor to Hero Quest, which was his claim to fame, and released TBD, but it's going to be awesome. Dwarven Forge style dungeon crawling adventure.
There's not a ton of details to
ridiculous.
really say about it. Yet.
It's not. It's so everything is still in flux, but
Yeah.
it's going to be awesome. That much is not in flux.
Let's see you here in Europe. Yeah, I think UK Games Expo and Essen are like the two that we're looking at as potentials.
Yep.
We're wanting to take conventions more seriously. Mace is like really wanting to get that stuff going. So, yeah.
It'd be fun to go back to Origins.
In the store, can there be pics of the parts laid out like the completionist set Nate showed earlier in the stream? The main thing is there's a lot of sets.
Yeah.
And it's updating all of it is going to be...
It's a lot.
For example, with the Crystal Caverns coming back in both Underdoom and Standard, they have very different looking images, and we should really make them look consistent. So it's stuff like that where we probably will try to update pictures as restocks come in, because it's a lot of stuff to do at once, because we've got like a decade of Dwarvenite sets.
And growing.
And growing.
You know, load time's going to land by the time we get that out, and yeah. Well,
Do they have a price range on the game? Nah, we really know extremely little.
we got a long way to go.
Yeah.
It's going to be more expensive than we want it to be. I already know that. Like, you know, we wanted to do like $100 box.
Are we committed to doing Dwarvenite for it? Or are we still
most likely, but there may be some hybrid. Don't know. It's all in flux. Because one of the challenges is trying to, like, the price point of the box. You know, it can't be $1,000 board game.
Yeah, board game
$999 perhaps, but
yeah.
no, but you know, it's got to like. We'll have to see.
Look at Gloomhaven and Oathsworn pricing. Sure. Also look at the size of everything that comes in it. Like,
there's like we don't have the volume. Also, Gloomhaven wasn't Gloomhaven on the first. I mean, it was right. That you know, it took a couple of Kickstarters to get to the size that it was and whatever. But no, the first printing was staggering. They probably lost their shirt because there was not a lot of.
Are the dungeon set reconfigs still coming this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
also, are all the banks?
Can't wait. We have 6 new dungeon pieces that are like I'm so excited. Like painted banks are in the works for the large. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Those are cooking. They haven't gone out to CMS yet.
Yeah. Now that we've got the Kickstarter out of the way, we're kind of getting some of that other homework done that we wanted to do.
Wow.
New dungeon pieces. Some of it is just fixing up, like adjusting pieces, but some of them are brand new.
Stair insert. We're doing a fixed diagonal for classic dungeon.
Yeah, that's why the dungeon reconfigs have taken more time. Is we had to resculpt some things and wanted to add.
Lowtown got in the way.
Then Lowtown got in the way. Yeah. Yeah. But our sculptors were working on Lowtown, but we needed our sculptors to have time to do some things for these dungeon reconfigs.
Although actually all those pieces are done, it's just the factory needed to be focused on Lowtown, so well, we get there. We'll get those out this year. It'll be very exciting. Some new core sets, new sort of advanced core bits, some new bundles, some new reconfigs. Like get that, like go and do into dungeons what we did with Caverns.
Would board game be painted or unpainted?
Painted. There may be both versions. We'll see, but painted is the goal is to have the cool painted version. But maybe we'll do an unpainted.
Genuinely
barrier to entry lower than this. Yeah.
Genuinely, with all these details, we are exceptionally early in development, and so it is very hard to really commit to anything.
I can tell you what our intentions are, but it could all change.
Yeah. Let's see, were there any other things? Yeah, so dungeon reconfigs, and then also one thing we've wanted to do for a while is get both the regular and large Banks packs available in every paint scheme for Caverns. And so Aaron and Hamster just busted out the Ice and Underdoom banks, paint masters that we were missing. Because with Underdoom, we had never done the concave bank. I
And
think.
then none of the big ones, because they
And then,
didn't
yeah, like
exist.
none of the large ones. So both Underdoom and Ice needed to have some paint masters done that we could send to the factory. And so they just finished
No.
those. So we're gonna
It
send them over
was,
there so they can like
oh, yeah,
have
I'm
that,
still
and then we can get pricing on making some new sets. So they'll probably be more expensive than the initial Stone Bank sets because they won't be grandfathered in. But hopefully not tremendously more because it's just a new paint scheme on. So I don't know. We'll have to wait for the factory quotes. But yeah.
All right, you know how I said we weren't going to actually film anything, but you set up the camera anyway because you said you knew better?
Yeah.
Turns out
Oh.
you were right. You got,
Keeping it a secret for now.
so these are,
There we go.
let's see, in process. Boop, boop, boop. Boop. I did not put a little light on the front light. So there's like, we got to like put a gradient in here, and there's this little, where'd that guy? There was a raised guy that is, oh, it got it. This one got a little thing, but yeah. So these are in the works. So we'll have Ice and Underdoom, big old banks. Pretty exciting. We're gonna have the caverns are gonna be like so robust.
Yeah, we're very close to having like all of the bread and butter for caverns like
Yeah.
available, and then we can just focus on like the wild specialty pieces, like I don't know, Stairway to Violence and stuff. There's still some stuff that we gotta get the runic column into a pack that makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, we get there.
Stuff
We
like
get
that.
there.
Yeah,
But
like,
the
getting
dungeons
these
are a
places-
bigger, like, there's so much, you know, there's so much that's, like, dungeons needs a lot of love. It hasn't been touched in forever.
Is all Underdoom that purple?
Yeah.
This is done to match. So the Underdoom banks specifically are shinier on the edges.
The edge has, like, a glossy,
Yeah.
iridescent thing.
So it matches the existing Underdoom banks that have been made. It's just
And this
very
is-
few people have Underdoom banks because the only way to get Underdoom banks
Was
from
the
before
Underdoom.
was to get like the Underdoom encounter. And so I was like, why don't we just do the Stone Banks pack in Underdoom? And there was never
We're
any
missing-
there was never any paint master for like the concave. So we had to do that paint
So
master.
stupid that it never existed in but anyway, we get there. I learned a lot from that, and it got us where we go. Each one we learn, we improve, we change.
And once we have these, we can do like bundles in the store where it's like, here's a caverns bundle with like some negative space, like banks and a core set, and we can offer it in all 4 colors. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we get
yeah.
it's so exciting. Making progress. So anyway, so these are in the works, work in progress. Get these out soon. This, maybe this fall. You can look forward to Banks.
Thanksgiving. We got to target it for November.
Yes. I mean, we could get it out for November if we get it cooking right now.
For people who haven't been back in Kickstarter for a
Thanksgiving.
long time, could you make like a secret door or special item bundle? Not sure the makeup of it, but a cool set of showpieces
Yeah.
like Doom Roller, Pit Traps, etc.
Yeah,
I think
we got
that's
to round
part
up.
of what the dungeon reconfigs are about.
Yeah, getting those chase pieces out into into some
Yeah.
cool sets to get all that stuff out there so you can get the cool bits.
With a lot of
For
it,
sure.
it's been we need to get like the bread and butter done first, like these banks, and then once we've got like all the good basic building blocks readily available,
Then
it's
Right.
easier to go into like the specialty stuff. And of course, we got to do that while also still developing the new projects.
The new three projects.
The
that
3
we have.
projects we're working on right now. Yeah.
Sci-fi board game high time.
Yeah.
Be good. Well, we can do it. We got the team. We got the power. We got a little bit of sleep. We're gonna make it all happen.
LED assortment pack. I think that was a thing.
Mm-hmm. We
Yeah.
had one in KS4. We had
Yeah.
We'll get there. We get there.
Have you thought about new dungeon paint schemes? We probably won't deviate from
Not
the
now,
dungeon
but
paint scheme we currently have.
Oh, they want to run B1. That ain't pools. I love it.
Hey, MC Charles.
So next, hey, PAX was a blast. So next week, think about we're gonna we want your feedback on the Kickstarter on Cities Untold. So think about that between now and next week, a week from now.
Yeah,
But dive in.
write up your manifesto. I mean, I think probably largely what it'll be is it'll be more us kind of telling you what the team has taken away from it, and we'll have like sections for talkback. But yeah.
But we want we'll get some feedback for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get out of here a little early.
Yeah, let's call it a bit early.
Go with sleep. Is there a hobby hang in tomorrow?
Yeah, hobby hang tomorrow.
What kind of hanging is happening?
Painting.
What? Really on a hobby hang?
Yeah.
What kind of thing are they painting?
I have no idea what Hamster's planning on painting. I might try to start painting my boat from Blood and Plunder.
Ooh.
That I assembled it like 2 months ago. Then the Kickstarter happened, and I never got around to painting it. I also have a bunch of Humblewood minis that I really want for stuff. I have so many. I have so many things to paint.
You could give Hamster a friendly nudge to start painting his Sigmar army, because we were supposed to battle at the end of. We're gonna battle in a month's time, and I am almost done with 1 unit, and he's at 0.
Nice.
I'm ahead of him by 10 minis.
Oh, cool.
So we'll see. So he's got to get cooking. Granted, I only need 3 units to hit my 500 points. We're doing a 500 point battle, a little starter thing, because it'll be hard pressed to get all those painted. But I think he's still doing orcs, which might be like 20 hobgoblins, and I don't know. There's
20 hobgoblins.
Hobgrats, right? So he might have like 50 dudes to paint. I only have like another 22 to go. No, 12.
This is all exceptionally over my head.
I've never
12 painted
miniatures.
up.
I don't have to lot. 12 miniatures.
The most I've painted up for an army was for Free Blades. I painted up like 6.
No.
Because it's a unit. That's a detachment.
A squad.
Yeah, 5 or 6 people.
Well, I got to do basically these units of 10, 2 battle line units of 10, and then a commander and an endless spell. So I'll have 1 unit of 10 done. I'll have to do 1 more unit of 10, 1 commander, 1 spell, and that'll get me my 500 points. But then I'm worried about the next one, because then I have to do another like 2 units, and yeah, we'll see.
Black and Blue Mark. It's the plastic. It's plastic sloop.
Woo!
I got 2 of them.
All right, so you guys will be painting tomorrow, and then next week we'll be back doing deconstructing the Kickstarter. So we'd love for you to start thinking about that. And we should probably be consistently on the air for a while here.
Are you off the week after that one?
I am. I'm on spring break. I'm going
to Miami.
Tijuana with the kids.
Ooh.
You know, just
Tijuana?
kick it off right.
Yeah, I do.
Isn't the drinking age 6 for Hawken will be okay, right? Chris's eyes. Yeah, it's totally. So I don't think we're going. We're going to Vermont. The Tijuana of Canada.
Really. Oh, the drinking age is like nothing there.
Yeah, 0.
Yeah.
What?
What's the one where you don't have to wear seatbelts? That's not Vermont. There's like live free or die. And
New Hampshire?
Yeah, New Hampshire. There we go.
No sales tax. You can buy fireworks.
No seatbelts.
No seatbelts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a free for all.
And
die. It's a granted state. They take it for granted.
Yeah.
So we'll be off the week after. So you're right. So we have this. We have the next week. Then we'll be on for a while until who knows? Until Gen Con will pick up.
Yeah.
Oh.
No income tax.
Yeah. Oh, no income tax either? Wow. I know there's no sales tax. There's no income tax? No. They just make you pay double in federal, so it's okay.
Man. Okay.
It's wild.
Oh, yes, yeah. You would still have the federals. Man.
But then you have to say wicked all the time and stuff, so it's a tough.
Oh, yeah. No,
that's
I can't. Yeah, I can't handle that trade-off.
It's tough. It's tough. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Welcome. We get a couple of new folks. Congrats to our winner. Thanks for everything. Thanks for your patience waiting for the giveaways from the end of the stream. We will get them out.
Yeah, we've got everybody should have been reached out to. Everybody who needed something from sculptors should have been connected with the sculptors or painters in Hamster's case. Every one of them is moving, so we should start sending them out soon. Yeah.
Who says wicked a lot also is Eli. You ever noticed that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Vermont thing.
He is in Vermont.
All right, let's go. Good night. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, bye.